trying to do some basic repairs here that you can do in your garage without any fancy tools. Well, the moment you've all been waiting for has finally arrived. Hey, Brian, when can you do some body work and show us something? Well, I got something very minor here, but it'll make for a good video and maybe something you would do in your own garage. Okay, so we're back here in the body shop area, and we're ready to get started on this. If you're new to the channel, my name's Brian. I'm from Paint Society. Guys, man, it's been awesome so far. I appreciate all the comments, love, and support. Trying to get back to every single comment. Actually, I do get back to every comment. I'm usually the one that ends after every comment, so I want to make sure you guys get the knowledge in the videos and you're getting the knowledge in the comment sections moving forward. So what we got here is a little dent repair. I'm going to show you right now. So this is off of a the newest model ES, and what we have is, looks like it's rubbed against something. We've got some plastic areas that we need to repair, but what I'm going to show you is this dent area. Now you can see this dent right here is about the size of a baseball, and I'm not sure if you can pick it up, but there is a body line that runs across the bottom all the way over. Now we have a couple different methods that we can do. Knowing myself, I want to take the path of least resistance, and the path of least resistance is going to be utilizing the glue dent puller, which is a very simple tool that you can use in your own garage. You don't need any fancy frame machine or anything. Pretty much I want to pull that dent out, get it as close as I can before I apply the body filler. So what I'm going to do here is I'm actually going to keep the bumper on for now, because I want to make sure that I don't over pull, so that the dent is nice and flush, so I know when I put my body filler on that these two areas are good to go. So this is the kit that you can go ahead and get on your own, and I'll show you what the front looks like here. It's just a Dent Fix makes it, Ding Massager Deluxe. And like I said, I'm trying to do some basic repairs here that you can do in your garage without any fancy tools. This comes with a heat gun, or excuse me, a glue gun. The original one, it broke, but all we've done here, see you later, Jordan. All we've done here is go to Walmart and get one. Nothing fancy about it. You can't just go to Walmart and pick up your arts and crafts glue sticks. These are actually meant to, you know, peel off. So that's that. Now, I'll come with your dent pullers, two types. I like this one because it gives it more of like a impact to pop out. Okay. Whereas this one is a little bit more of a gentle massager. So, I mean, it depends on the dent. It also is going to come with a variety, and you can order these different pullers. So what we're going to do basically is after the gun's heated up, we're going to apply some here, and then we'll stick it to the vehicle, let it dry for a little bit, and then we'll see what happens with it. And the first thing I want to do is use some wax and grease remover, and make sure you remove any sort of silicones or waxes from the area that will inhibit the actual glue from sticking and getting a nice glue pull. Now the one I'm going to utilize here is an actual oval shape, because I can see a crease going down here. We have two selections of tools. Pretty much we can use this one here, and that will just slide around that, and pretty much you would whack it. And then we have this one. It's going to be a little bit more finesse. And then the way this one will work is you'll just tighten up the knob here, and then I'll apply pressure and create like a resistance. And you know, you're going to give it a little pull here. I don't know if I like this one because I can't see what I'm doing too much. So we're going to go ahead and we're going to remove this one, and we're going to give it a little pop, see what happens. Now it's important to stop and to look at the dent and make sure you're not over pulling at that point, because then you're damaging it and you're gonna have to do more body work to knock it in. All right, so you know, this kit comes with actually a rubber small hammer, which is really cool, and it comes with like a little tool just to apply pressure with your hand to pull. So we don't have the rubber hammer, so I just took a regular hammer with tape, kind of just to soften it off and not really put too many indentations on there. So all I really want to do is pull on the lows and tap on the highs, And I'm just going to apply medium pressure right here, not pulling too hard, just enough to stabilize. And what I want to do is knock down that crown, okay? And as I knock down that crown, it's going to relieve pressure, okay, for this dent. Now that we know it needs a little work, you can't just pop it out. I think Billy Mays taught us you could. God bless us all. I feel that crown has significantly gone down just by looking at it as well. So all we're going to be using is a 220 grit sandpaper, and all I'm looking to do really here is knock it down the metal and kind of expose what I have. There's going to be a little bit of a low spot, but that's what the small amount of filler is to get that just perfect. I'm going to contain my area as much as I can to keep the repair small, holding it flat. So let's see exactly what's going on. The paint tells us the story of how we're looking. Low spot. This is kept flat, so anything it does not come in contact with is obviously going to be low. So what we're going to do is we're going to turn the sander just a little bit to kind of grind that out, because I want to take this down to metal, because I like putting body filler straight over metal. So we got that all cleaned up. Now what I'm going to go ahead and do is I'm going to do 320 on a soft pad, and that's going to give something for the filler that we're feathering into. And I like to always wax and grease remover in between, keep it clean, make sure everything's sticking. Yeah, so this is my working space now, so I want to contain the filler to this area. So now I have some Optex, I think it's by Evercoat, and the cool thing about this is it's going to dry green when it's done, or a very light white. And what I do with the hardener is I just let it puddle out, and I only do half. I only go across the whole thing. I don't need to, not down here. And you know, you overlap this. You pretty much want to make sure that you're overlapping. I don't like to use cardboard because that introduces air pockets, because cardboard is obviously porous. Yeah, you save money, but in the meantime, you're looking for a whole bunch of cardboard sheets, and you know, introducing those air pockets. So overlap. So we're ready to apply now. I'm just going to do tight swipes, trying to keep it as minimal as possible. I have to remember I do have a body line going this way, but I'm not going to put too much emphasis on it, because I can sand it once it's hardened. I can kind of shape it a little bit, and we don't have much filler on here. Most of this will get sanded off. We're just trying to fill that tiny low spot that we have. And you can kind of look at it from the side and see, you know what, it looks good, doesn't look good, it needs a little bit more. I think it looks mighty good. So we're going to let this go ahead and cure, and then once it turns color, we know it's good to go. All right, so you saw that change color. Now that's pretty cool. So pretty much essentially what we're going to be doing here is we're going to be utilizing a 220 grit. Now I just have that wrapped around the block, and I like 220 because, listen guys, this is a very small repair. I don't need to gouge into it, and I need to leave the filler on there that needs to stay. I don't want to sand it off. So I'm pretty much essentially going to just knock it down, and that's going to start to reveal this area. And I got, look at that, just a little bit of a low spot. So we got a body line that runs here. So let me show you what I'm going to do with that. I'm going to run some tape to protect that body line, because I want to create it. Take that off. Okay, so we can tell right in this area, tell right here that we have the slightest of a low spot, but we're not going to worry about that. We're gonna hit that up with our glazing putty, and that should fill that in right here. You see how we have a nice body line consistently through? We're not gonna mess with that too much. All we're really gonna do is, you know, chop off the bottom and go over the top, okay? And what we can actually do here is we can do the reverse, okay? So I can just take it over the other side, okay? And I can sand that, and that's gonna protect that side, okay? So that's how you kind of create that body line. Is the slightest of high spots, because it's sanding that area and it's showing that that's high. What we're gonna do with that, just leave it the slightest of a tap. Now my last coat of filler is gonna come over this area, and then we're gonna repeat with 320, but this time the filler is gonna be a glazing putty. So we're gonna mix this up, we're gonna clean it off, we're gonna apply that putty right over. Now we have it pretty much ready for primer. Now a good body man probably will get this in one swipe, but if you have to go back and do one or two more, I mean, in the end, all that really matters is it looks good. So we use a little bit of wax and grease remover, and I can tell my body line right here looks really, really good. So I'm gonna go ahead and remove this portion, this retainer, and then I'm going to sand in this area with 400 all the way in this area. So 400 and then prime within this area. So we're ready to sand this, and I got my guide coat here, and I'm just gonna rub it in and do it in circles so that it gets into all the little crevices and all that, so I can make sure that I've effectively sanded all of my primer even and smooth. I've got a long block here, and I'm gonna try to go in just X pattern. Okay, I'll go one way, and then I'll go the other way, so just watch that. I already know my body line is there, so I don't have to work too hard. All I'm doing is refining it to get it ready for paint, and 400 grit is a good grit for that. I'm going too harsh, but still effectively cutting. So while sanding that, I noticed that I needed just a little bit of filler in some areas, so I just swiped it and put some primer back on there. Now I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna prep the rest of the car. I wanna stay fairly light, I don't want it burned through, so I'm gonna go from 800 to 1,000. So let's hit the prep. Okay, so this is a very crucial step, one that I don't want you to miss, so much so that I stopped the video with the subtitles, and I want to show you this because silver, you can really screw yourself up here if you don't do this right. So for the second and last coat, this is what I'm going to do. Remember, clear base over the areas I'm blending so it can fall into something wet. Regular base coat with slow reducer. I'm going to use the same color, but what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this color right here, I'm going to reduce it with 1:1 clear base, the same stuff that's in here, so both of these together, and then I'm going to add about 25% extra slow reducer, and that's going to help with that last coat to smooth out and blend beautifully because it's going to take the strength away from the color and make it more transparent. So I want to interrupt the video just to show you that, and let me show it to you right here so you guys can understand what I just explained. Okay, Paint Society, that's going to do it for me on this video. I got a plane to catch. I'm coming to see you, Carla. I'm going to go ahead and show you what it looks like here, and then I'm going to pass it over to Diaz. Diaz is going to go ahead and assemble it, and he'll get us some photos when it's all done. Hey, this is Brian from Paint Society, reminding you, not overthink it, it's just paint. I'll see you guys on the next one.